for coming today to our 2013 Tierra del Sol Tierra Together Luncheon. So thank you for being here. So today we have over 700 people in attendance, all celebrating volunteerism throughout the Los Angeles County. In fact, if you were to look at your agenda and open it up to the middle, you could see our 144 community partners throughout the community. And thank you for being here. So today we're going to share some of the work that happens at each of them each day, and we're going to highlight a few of them. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce you to Adam Tucker, one of our Tierra del Sol community volunteers, to read our mission statement.
All three? All right. Tierra will work continuously to increase opportunities for people with disabilities to participate, contribute, and succeed as productive and valued citizens of our community. In addition, we will communicate, educate, and advocate to increase our community's understanding and appreciation for the capabilities of the people we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Now I get the opportunity to introduce Rebecca Leinhard, our Associate Chief Executive Officer of Tierra del Sol.
So when I hear that mission statement being read by one of the individuals that we serve, I'm always moved because it actually has a very distinctly different definition and sound to it when it's being read by one of the folks that we're actually honoring today. So it's really great. So as you know, I'm Rebecca, and why are we here today? Well, we're here to celebrate two of our most important partners at Tierra del Sol. One is all of our client workers, client volunteers, and the other is all of the agencies that they serve. And if you look across the room, we must be making quite an impact across the San Fernando Valley and the San Gabriel Valleys. We should give ourselves a hand. There are over 300 client volunteers in the audience today. I'm going to say that again. There are over 300 client volunteers in the audience today. And that's not all of us. Some folks actually had to work and they couldn't get the time off. Can you imagine the size of the room we would have needed if they all came? So I want to just take a minute, and I'm going to go off script, and I know that's going to freak some of you out, but I do want to just take a second and ask for all of the client volunteers, if you could just stand at your table, and I'd like to give you a round of applause. Thank you. I know that despite some pretty overwhelming obstacles that you may face on a daily basis, you come each and every morning ready and prepared to work. And you're not simply prepared to work, but through your smiles, you shine with a purpose and a willingness to tackle the day and make a difference. I believe it's because you know that you are growing a richer life, a life full of confidence, a life full of self-esteem and growing esteem, a life of service to others, and most importantly, a life with a clear identity. Today you sit in the audience not as clients of Tierra del Sol Foundation, but as employees of MEND, CDI, Girl Scouts, Olive View Medical Center, Valley Presbyterian Hospital, and the list goes on, up to 144 different organizations in which you serve. So today we are celebrating you. Take it all in. This is really all about you. There are a few in the audience, though, that we would like to highlight, whose light for service shines just a little bit brighter for us to see. And this light motivates us, motivates me, to do a better job, and to give a little more. These individuals truly embody the spirit of service above self, and we would like to take this minute, this opportunity to highlight a few of those individuals and the work that they do. So I'd like to get started with the Service Above Self Awards, and there are 5 honorees for that. This young man has been dedicated student and volunteer since he started in Nexus in 2010. From day one, his passion for working with animals was evident. He was not only attracted to playing with animals, but more importantly, he understood that caring for these animals involved the cleaning and the feeding, as well as the meeting of their needs on a daily basis. He has been able to further develop all of these skills through lengthy volunteer service at the East Valley Animal Shelter. His dedication to the animal services field is clear not just during, but outside of program time. This young man exemplifies commitment to service above self day after day in countless ways in which he serves the needy animals of our community. Yuri Venegas, could you please stand? Today, you are the first honoree of our Service Above Self Award. Congratulations. This next individual currently volunteers 3 days a week at David and Margaret Home. He provides excellent customer service and does not hesitate to go above and beyond what is asked of him. He is motivating to the group members and is eager to assist in any way that he can, all the while maintaining a remarkably positive disposition. He works very hard every day that he volunteers and has an uncanny work ethic. What all of us appreciate most about this individual is his kindness to everyone he comes across, as well as his positive energy. Daniel Padilla, please stand, and will you join me? Congratulations on your Service Above Self Award. What sets this next gentleman apart is his compassion for others. He has been a favorite on his Meals on Wheels delivery routes for years. If he doesn't deliver the meal to a senior's home, he is asked about by name. He is a bright spot in their day, and they miss him when he isn't the one to deliver it to them. He always asks how they are, whether or not they've taken their medication, and anything else that he is concerned about for them. This particular gentleman has volunteered at numerous sites over the years. He is weary of new places, but as soon as he understands the expectations, he is enthusiastic and dedicated. Recently, we asked him to try a new site, Lutheran Social Services. He was resistant to the change, but agreed to try it just one time. When he got there, he told his support staff that it was too much work, but she broke it down for him into small little segments, and he completed the entire job. When he returned to our campus, he came barreling into his director's office to tell her how much he loved the new job and that he was excited to go there again. Luckily, everyone was appreciative of his enthusiasm and wanted him to be a permanently member of that site. Currently, this man volunteers at Lutheran Social Services, Eaton Canyon Nature Center, Glendale Salvation Army's Meals on Wheels. Robbie Williams, please stand. Congratulations on your Service Above Self Award. This next woman, this time, in our humble opinion, is the epitome of giving back to the community through exemplary volunteerism. She has been a long-standing volunteer of Tierra events, including fall festivals, art exhibits, and she has spent a lot of time particularly contributing to our Sunland Ceramics program. She has volunteered at Sunland Senior Center, the CATS program at Northridge Hospital, AIDS Project LA, MEND, One Generation Child Care Center, and that's just to name a few. She's always eager to help others in any way she can. She has remained active in her community in the face of personal and professional challenges. After a long journey of assisting others in fighting for her legal right to work, she is now ready to find a paying job. Evelyn Arnellis, please stand. Congratulations on your Service Above Self Award. The final award winner today for the Service Above Self Awards is one outstanding guy. Since day one at Tierra, we knew he'd be a great addition to our program. He brightens our lives with his smile, and he volunteers at 3 sites where his work and dedication stands out for itself. Once you teach him the right way to do something, he'll take what you've shown him and make it 100 times better. At one of his volunteer sites, a daycare yard, he uses an electric blower. At first, he was insecure using this type of tool, but quickly caught on to its benefits. One time when the blower was unavailable and they went to sweep the area instead, he said to his staff, "No blower?" You see, he speaks very quietly, but the way he made the statement was his way of communicating that his confidence now of using the blower was such that simple brooms was a disdain to him at this point in time. Nonetheless, he's a great sport, and of course, he swept the area clean. Even more, he furthered his advocacy at home, convincing his dad that simple rakes were a thing of the past by getting the blower out and ready to go. This man is a wonderful role model, a great guy, and we enjoy his smile so much. Kurt Fredenberger, please stand. Congratulations on your Service Above Self Award. And now I'd like to bring Steve Miller, President and CEO of Tierra to the film.
Well, I know you can hear me right here in the back of the room. Can you guys in the front of the room, way down there, can you hear me? Raise your hands. Okay, great. So I've seen little pieces of tape, I guess on TV, of like viral flash mobs. What are they? That's what this has turned into. When we had the wonderful idea to celebrate volunteerism and started sending out notes, we didn't know if 50 people or 75 people would show up. And you kept responding. And you kept responding. And we kept adding more tables. And you kept responding. We kept adding more tables. We've pretty much filled an awfully large room. And I don't know how I can tell you how much the entire organization, I won't say appreciates, I'll say feels somewhat fulfilled knowing that all of you decided to share this celebration on this Friday, June 14th. So on behalf of the entire organization, thank you for sharing this moment with us. And since Rebecca went off script, I'll just do this briefly too. Sorry, Chris and Janice, about the timing of everything. I do have a number of organizations that I'm going to mention in a moment because they are examples of the best, as you all are. But when I saw someone walk in a little bit late, a couple of minutes ago, I realized even more clearly that this is about every single person in this room. Whether you are whether you have personally signed up to volunteer at another organization, or whether, as I realize now after having been at a late afternoon meeting recently at the regional center, when we're hammering out things and one of their supervisors says, you know, I was here till 8 o'clock last night, and when I realized that my entire staff was here and I had to kick them out. That's not a job, folks. That's a commitment to a cause beyond a job. And so I know that when I look around this room, every single person in this room believes in something and gives more than whatever paycheck or whatever obligation they may feel, because that's who you are, and that's what service is. So I want to make sure we include those of you that are not recognized by certificate or by name. And then the other person, I saw Peter Shakow walk in a couple minutes ago and find his seat quietly. And I realized that in the audience here are volunteers that have chosen to serve by serving on Tierra del Sol's board of directors. And that is a thankless job if ever there was one. And so if I could just take a second and ask both current and past members of Tierra del Sol's, all volunteer, all giving, all committed members of the board of directors to stand for just a second. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Okay, so back to the script. This is a script, which is just a piece of paper with some scribbles on it. We're going to talk a little bit now about the heart of a community. See, a city is buildings. A city is businesses, banks, restaurants, markets, office buildings, even schools. All of these things are parts of every city or every town. That's not what a community is. What is a community? Community is defined, I think, by shared values, by expressions of what's important in the hearts of the people that inhabit the city or the town. So, what causes this valley in Los Angeles to be a community are the expressions of things that as a community we have agreed are important and that we give ourselves to. And so there are some representatives of what the heart of a community are in the room today. And the heart is what powers, gives blood, gives nutrients, makes life worth living for all of the citizens of that city. And so here are some of the things that our city has said are important and values. That we honor our seniors, that we believe that lives lived well and given to raise children and to build should be honored in the twilight of their lives. And so we should give and we should honor with service our seniors. And that disadvantaged young children, just starting out, who just by virtue of their birth deserve a certain amount of opportunity, regardless of the economic circumstances in which they've been born or the social circumstances in which they've been born. And so the people of this city value our children and give reality to that value through serving organizations that help our most disadvantaged and most vulnerable young people. That there are people, through no fault of their own, that find themselves destitute, that find themselves homeless, without resources. And that we know, as people, that there, but for the grace of God, go you and I. And so as a community, we value, because we know what we do to the least of us, we do to us. And so we give time and service to homeless shelters and food pantries and organizations that just in every conceivable way meet the needs for human dignity, which everyone is entitled to. And we know that there are throwaway children in this world. Teenagers, people that are in foster care. And we know there's no such thing as a throwaway human life. And so as a community, we find ways to do the best we can to make every child know that they're loved and cared about. And so there are organizations that have that as their mission. And that's what's the heart of the community. And finally, there are fellow passengers on this planet, creatures with 4 legs, mostly 4 legs and tails. Sometimes they're called strays, but a stray doesn't really give you that sense of what the terror that must be felt by a cat, a kitten, a dog that's left abandoned and is running on the streets, or whose family left and has never come back, and they don't know when they're coming back, or they're left in some cement shelter waiting for someone to come and put them to sleep. How we treat our most vulnerable says a lot about us, regardless of whether it's a human life or any life. And so the fact that we have organizations in the city where people give their time and their efforts to creatures that are completely dependent on our care and our love, that says a lot about who we are too. And so collectively, those are some of the values that make us a community. And so now when I read the names of a small group of organizations, each of you have been recommended by some of our volunteer teams, honestly, not because you're any more special than any of the organizations who are not going to be named, but because in your totality, you represent those values that together define what love is and what binding of a community is. So the heart of the community honorees, and I'll just ask you to stand at your table. Pet Orphans of Southern California. Okay. Jewish Family Services, the SOVA. YMCA of La Cañada. The LAUSD Vaughn Street Early Education Center. David and Margaret Youth and Family Services. Kids Space Children's Museum. We single you out for recognition among the 100+ other community organizations because collectively you paint a picture of what it means to not be a city, not be a town, not even be a village, but to be a community of caring and binding. So I want to, on behalf of our organization and everyone here, thank each of you and thank each of you organizations and each of you individuals in this room that collectively represent the pumping, vibrant heart of the community. Thank you.
I've been involved with Tierra for 3 years. I volunteer at the Child Development Institute. I'm volunteering here because I want to make a difference in someone's life, and also I want to help out in the community. When I walk through the door, I do my afternoon tasks, which basically I gotta sanitize the toys before everybody can come in the center, before 9 o'clock. I supervise the children. I do lesson planning, lead music and movement, data entry, answer the telephones, customer service. I've implemented some the activities I learned in my child development classes and used them here in the center. So I teach them a lot. I volunteer here just because I'm very passionate about kids. I like to see them grow and develop. Teaching them makes me feel great. Tierra has impacted my life because they've taught me so many different things. I learned how to be successful in college. They taught me professional skills. So I hope to bring that to my life as soon as I leave this program. After I leave this program, I want to be a preschool teacher. In one word, I would describe my experience working with Tierra as awesome.
Well, we have been friends of Tierra del Sol for, since we started 18 years ago. More recently, we opened our Early Learning Center, and in preparation for that, we made an agreement with Tierra to have their volunteers come and do an internship here. And we have had a remarkable experience in those 3 years. Our Tierra team has become part of who we are. We actually started inviting the Tierra team to work with us because it matched our own value system, which is that we believe everybody in the community has gifts and talents to offer. And our model is really about our community bringing forward all of their own gifts and talents and interest in providing safe and wonderful experiences for children to learn. What I didn't expect is that our Tierra team would actually become part of the fabric of what we do. So rather than just matching our values, they have become invaluable to our mission. We learn from their professionalism, we learn from their positive attitude, and we learn from them in terms of their interactions with us.
Tierra serves more than 600 men and women every day. That means, in truth, we should be looking for 600 opportunities every day for people to serve others. When you take somebody like Megan, I'm not sure she knew that her calling was really going to be early childhood education, serving young people. But once she began to serve, not only did her gift of service matter to the children, but she grew stronger, she grew more purposeful. The way that she's attacked her education and attacked her future is really beautiful. That's the magic. When you give, you always get more back than you gave out. Megan's on a journey, and community service was an important part of learning that she could make a difference, and then going through a true internship where she realized that exactly how she makes a difference matters, and getting the skills and the education she needs to go forward. So she's going to have a career. You know that expression, find what you love to do in life and you'll never work a day in your life? Well, Megan has found what she loves to do. And so she's going about promoting her own skills, her own education, building a craft, and she's going to go out and she's never going to work a day in her life, but she's going to give herself to a career, and she'll be better off for it, and the world will be better off because of Megan.
My name is Nubia Barca. I've been involved with Tierra for 7 months. I volunteer at MAN. My favorite part of working in MAN is bread line and boxes. I pass the tokens to the homeless people. When I pass the boxes, they give me the ticket and then I make them sign it. I file it and I give them the boxes of food and then take it home. When I volunteer, I feel happy. It makes me happy because I help people.
More than 20 years, MEND has been privileged to partner with Tierra del Sol, and it's been truly a great relationship. Certainly the Tierra clients and participants have been very, very helpful in our clothing department, in our food department, and so on. And hopefully they feel good about assisting our clients who are in crisis and they're low income. One is Luvia, who works in our emergency food department. She started by packing food boxes But more recently, she's moved into customer service, working at our distribution window where the food boxes are given out to clients in need. And she has an infectious smile. She's so courteous and polite. She gives dignity to our clients when they come, and she loves to help. And we think that's really wonderful. I think the fact that the Tierra clients and staff are here to help. They're very helpful. They're willing to take on any task that we assign to them. Whether it's sorting clothing, whether it's packing food boxes, whether it's customer service, whether it's helping with cleaning, whatever it might be, they're willing to help, they're capable, and they're able, and that's been a good benefit to our agency, and to our clients, and hopefully to the Tierra folks.
Service to others is at the core of our humanity. All we have to do is realize that we can make a difference, and we do make a difference. When a community realizes that every member has something to give and embraces the gifts, we all win, and the notion of disability just dissolves. In truth, we all have abilities, just yearning for the opportunity to use them to make a difference. A community is a group of people that care about each other and give to each other, and as a result, we're all stronger. That's what volunteer service means to Tierra del Sol.
So if I could ask everyone that's here from MEND and from Child Development Institute to come on up here and receive a little bit of extra special recognition. I'm going to wait till everybody's up here, and I'm going to ask the CEO of MEND, Marianne Haverhill, to come up on the platform. So we've identified 2 examples of what a partnership is in building a community. We've identified 2 organizations that have such great prestige and credibility in this community that the people that Tierra supports benefit from being part of the MEND organization and part of the Child Development Institute organization. And so our vision is really we don't have to do everything. We can't do everything. We know what we're good at, and what we're good at is building partnerships with people that share mission and share culture, and then empowering the people that we support to be part of the mission of those organizations. And so the 2 organizations that exemplify this kind of partnership that we've identified, and you've seen them in the video, the first one we're going to recognize is Meet Each Need with Dignity, MEND. Would you like to say a few?
Thank you so much, Steve, and to the Tierra community for honoring MEND in this way. We are honored to be honored. And it has been a great partnership for the last 20-some years. And just wonderful that we can work together to make a difference in the community. I tell people that my job has 2 main areas of focus. One is that we want at MEND to provide high quality service to our low income clients, and we are a multi-service poverty relief agency. But the second part of my job is that we provide as many opportunities as possible for people in the community to make a difference in the lives of the poor. Last year we had more than 4,400 volunteers that worked with us. They gave the equivalent of 83 full-time employees worth of time. We only have 29 paid staff, but we welcome people from all walks of life. We have doctors and dentists that volunteer their time in our clinics. We have business executives and owners that teach English in our English program. We have low-income clients that volunteer with us as a way to give something back. And we have friends who have physical and emotional and mental challenges. We feel really good about the fact that together we are working to make a difference for the poor. And when we say our name is Meet Each Need with Dignity, it's not just for our clients that we want to give dignity. We want to make sure that our partners that work with us also have a strong sense of dignity as soon as they walk in the door, they feel welcome. They feel that they can use whatever skills and gifts they have to be of benefit to those that come. So thank you very much. We hope to have 20 more years partnering with you at least.
Count on it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, a personal thanks to a member of the board of this next organization who's been a friend for, I don't know how too many years, Peter Bowers. I was chatting with him one day and he said, there's somebody I need you to meet. And eventually that worked out, timing, and I met Joan Maltese, the president and CEO of Child Development Institute, running 150 miles an hour in 150 different directions at the same time, and that hasn't slowed down. And she had this vision that she was going to make come true for this this wonderful facility in a library that I actually went to when I was like growing up in Canoga Park. And so from the ground floor of that dream to the reality today of just a spectacular partnership and internship that is giving people that we support and people that give service to Child Development Institute, that real launching point into a career, their passion in life and their career. This is a true partnership, and it is really a pleasure to present this plaque to Joan Maltese from Child Development Institute.
This is such an amazing honor. Tierra Together. This name is wonderful, and maybe that should be your new name. I don't know, I want to adopt that name somehow, because everything we do is together. And having our Tierra team brought a new awareness to our organization about the importance of actually where we start, because Child Development Institute is committed to making sure that every child has all of the opportunities and resources that they need to develop their full potential. And we do that by supporting parents and professionals and family members to have the information and the confidence to guide that development. And this comes full circle because our young adults from Tierra are there now gaining their own information and confidence so that they can go out into the world and to provide for other people. This is like the full circle of what our mission is. So this partnership is a fulfillment of my personal dream and certainly the fulfillment of our mission. And, you know, I have had years of watching babies take their first steps and say their first words. And now I also have the privilege of watching our Tierra team deliver their first story time or teach that first activity or give their first tour. And it is just as remarkable and wonderful to see that pride and that accomplishment and know, as I have to say, we've all been crying this week because many of our team are graduating and either going to college or they have gotten jobs. And we have real relationships. We depend on each other and we learn from each other. So to say goodbye to them is a hard thing, but also it's a moment of joy to know that they have gained the skills that they will go forward with. And as you saw Megan, you know, really deliver with passion and integrity that kind of professional support that really graces our world. So I just want to say to our Tierra team and our CDI team that CDI is better for having you be part of us, and I am a better person for knowing you. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Rebecca Leinhardt to come up now.
So you're all having a good time? Isn't this really a beautiful event to see all of us, Tierra, together and the impact that we're making on our community? I know I moved. So very few times in our life do we really have an opportunity to be involved in an idea or a plan at the very beginning of that plan or the very beginning of that idea. The birth of that idea, you might say. But you are all in this together today, seeing this birth of this Tierra Together event happening. You may even be watching the start of a legacy, we hope. A legacy of celebrating the accomplishments and contributions of all of our citizens with and without disabilities. I actually have asked Andrew Kugler, Tierra del Sol's president of our board, to come join me up front, not just because it's a good idea, which it is, but more importantly because the values and the mission that you've seen today is really a top-down, bottom-up effort in preparing our folks to work, to contribute to our society, to be extraordinary citizens of our community, and then helping us have an opportunity to celebrate each step that they make. This effort is seen in every corner of our agency. Andrew just last year was actually helping develop some of our interview skills for some of those young men and women you just heard are going off to work. He now leads our agency as the president of our board with new ideas and new plans of where our mission and our values can lead us. So thank you for joining me. The next two awards and our last two awards of our luncheon today are actually probably the most special to me. And I'm hoping that Andrew and all of you will feel the same way. They are driven specifically by our mission statement and by a staggering statistic. That staggering statistic is currently the unemployment rate for people with disabilities is well over 75%. I'm going to say that again. The unemployment rate for people with disabilities is over 75%. This is an overwhelming number, and it must change. Our mission statement states, we are actively working toward a day when people with any type of disability are fully accepted in our community as neighbors, as co-workers, and contributors to our society. We are not sitting on the sidelines of history and watching the game being played, but we are finding new ways to be in center court and winning. 75% is a beatable number, and we will not give up. Here's the truth that I know fundamentally would change this game forever. We are not called to change the entire system. We just need to make a difference, one person at a time. If we all commit ourselves to making a difference for just one person, we can and we will change our corner of the world. There are over 300 people here who have shown you what they are made of. Their skills, their commitments, their willingness to do what it takes to win, to make it work. They are ready to change the world with you. Let me read a little bit more of the inspiration that went behind the first award, the next award. It's a legend, you might say. It's a legend of the star thrower, and it's on the back of your program, actually, if you want to read along. Once upon a time, there was a wise man who used to go to the ocean to do his writing. He had a habit of walking on the beach before he began his work. One day, he was walking along the shore. As he looked down the beach, he saw a human figure moving like a dancer. He smiled to himself to think of someone who had danced to the day. So he began to walk faster to catch up. As he got closer, he saw that it was a young man, and the young man wasn't dancing, but instead he was reaching down to the shore, picking up something and very gently throwing it back into the ocean. As he got closer, he called out, "Good morning. What are you doing?" The young man paused, looked up, and replied, "Throwing starfish into the ocean." I guess I should have asked, "Why are you throwing starfish into the ocean?" The sun is up and the tide is going out, and if I don't throw them, they will die. But young man, don't you realize that there are miles and miles of beach and starfish all along it? You can't possibly make a difference. The young man listened politely, then bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the sea, past the breaking waves. He says, "It made a difference for that one." So, our Star Thrower Award honors an individual or an organization who has done just that, made a difference, and has thrown that star. They've shared Tierra's success story with another business and has helped to introduce us to that employer. And then that employer in turn has hired one or more well-qualified Tierra employees. We can make a difference. 75% unemployment rate is a beatable number. And our Star Thrower Award this year goes to Jan Maceda from Lutheran Social Services. Jan introduced us to Fireman's Brew in early 2012 through multiple conversations and a deep desire to develop a partnership. Not one, 4 individuals started their new jobs and, quite frankly, their new lives on September 1st, 2012. Jan made a difference, not just for one, but for 4. Please join me in recognizing Jan Maceda as our first of many star throwers. As she makes her way to the podium, can all of her current volunteers at Lutheran Social Services just stand one more time and give a hand for Jan and for them?
Well, I'm not quite sure who to thank, and I think it's, but thank you, Tierra. I'm rarely speechless, but I am a little speechless. It's ironic that that it's a beer company that we employed our our wonderful Tierra volunteers at. Tierra has, obviously, a very special place in my heart. They literally run my social service agency. And many years ago, I was working for Special Olympics, and I was one of the Special Olympic directors. And I held that position for about 10 years. And when I moved over to social service, I was trying to find a way to marry my wonderful special athletes with what I do at the social service agency. And my daughter, who is special, was just coming into Tierra, and I was just learning a little bit about Tierra. And then I met Steve Miller, and we started this partnership where we would have volunteers from Tierra come to the social service agency. And they now literally run our whole agency, the volunteers. We have 10 to 12 volunteers every day at Lutheran Social Services, and it is a blessing not only to myself and our staff, but it is a real blessing to the clients that we have who are homeless, very low income, and always in a critical situation. And I am so proud of Tierra's volunteers and the way that they handle themselves with clients that are sometimes very difficult because they are not particularly happy being at our agency because they're looking for services. And some of my favorite days are when I hear our clients, our Tierra volunteers tell our clients, "You better behave." And other things that they tell them. And I just have to sit back and laugh because it's so beautiful to watch. And these, the clients of ours have come to us and said, "We really, really like having your special volunteers here. They keep us sane," which is not easy to do for our clientele. But thank you very much for this award, and blessings on all of our Tierra volunteers.
Jan made a difference, and we're slowly peeling away that 75% unemployment rate. Thank you, Jan. Our final award for today is called our Pace Setter Award. And it's defined by that term alone, pace setter. They are setting the pace for everybody else in this room. We will be honoring an organization that once was a valued volunteer partner, then decided to make a deeper difference and has chosen to hire an individual with a disability within their own organization. And I know that we can do that for all 300 other client volunteers we have in that room. This year's Pace Setter Award goes to Judy Hamilton at One Generation. O&E, as we call it, has been a valued volunteer partner for well over 15 years now. However, in 2012, decided to take our relationship one step further and hire one individual to work as a child care substitute teacher. When this experience turned out to be a positive decision, they didn't stop there and hired another individual to provide light janitorial duties. One Generation is a shining example of a true pace setter. Please join me in recognizing Judy for our first of many Pace Setter Awards.
I'll move this down so you can see my face. Wow, what a surprise. I heard Joan refer to her Tierra volunteers as her Tierra team. At One Generation, we call them our Tierra friends. And I can share in those moments when our Tierra friends get jobs and they leave us, it's bittersweet. But as a lot of nonprofits are experiencing in these economic times of struggles, we had a position come open, and Tierra was their first thought. You know, I said, let's call Kevin and see if he has somebody that can work with us. And we interviewed Mark, and just last night we had our preschool graduation, and Mark was there, and Brian said it has never gone so smoothly. He felt he was able to get the job done in such a great short time. Again, I'm caught off guard. I'm honored on behalf of One Generation and all of the seniors and the children. We have 300 seniors who have lunch in dining centers. Our Tierra friends are they're every day helping. We have 90 children. Our Tierra friends are there helping those children every day. I guess I'll finish with Tierra friends are the best friends that one could ever hope to have. Thanks.
As you can see, each of these honorees did not try to solve the unemployment rate for all people with disabilities. Instead, they made a difference, starting with just one, then leading to 2, and ultimately 4 people hired. And collectively, they've made a difference for 6 individuals with disabilities. You too can make that difference. I'm personally asking you to commit to making a difference for one person this year. Take a minute, look at the card at your table. It's a commitment card. I'm asking you to fill it out. I'd like you to agree to be our next star thrower or our next pace setter. I'm hoping to be able to honor you here at this podium next year at our Tierra Together event. We will make a difference, one person at a time. I'm not asking you to solve the employment rate for all people, but I am wanting you to make a difference for one. Together we can make a difference. Together we can change the world. We can make, at least in our corner of it. So thank you very much, and I think Steve's going to come up and close out our ceremony today, and I really appreciate all volunteers and all employers here today.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at closing out rooms. I know how to clear a room in just a second. Well, actually, I should start by saying, I guess by now, if there's anybody in this room that thought they were coming to a disability event, you probably know you're in the wrong room, right? Nothing about this is about disability. You know, there's a saying that goes back so many eons that I don't think we could find one author to it, but it's been repeated so many times. I think we've all heard it either from a politician or a spiritual leader or other quarters. And that is that one mark of a civilization's greatness is in how the least among them are treated. Have you ever heard that or some similar? You know, it's been attributed to Gandhi and Hubert Humphrey, and it's found in scripture, one version or another. So what kind of brass would I have to say that's wrong? Because I really think one measure of a civilization's greatness would really be how that civilization has found a way to capitalize and benefit from the gifts of all of its members. And there are no least among us. That we all are under a veneer of skin or eye color or beliefs or the way certain nerve endings end or don't end, that all of that stuff is irrelevant to what's underneath, and that is that every human being not only can but yearns to get off the bench and play and contribute. And for a society to not allow members who want to get off the bench and contribute to do that, it's the society's loss. So the closer we move to a civilization where we embrace the gifts of all, and there are no barriers or others, that's going to be greatness. And each of you in this room are one shining light that I think we can all point to. We do know how to get there. It looks a lot like what we've experienced this afternoon. Thank you for making this all happen.